What's up, Grace Girls? Welcome to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast, where we focus on helping Black women change their lives by discarding negative thoughts, pivoting in the right direction, and shifting their mindset through cultivating a trauma free lifestyle. I'm your host, Courtney Christten, educator, content creator, life coach, counselor, and mental health enthusiast living in Houston, Texas. I created the Allow Yourself Grace podcast because I wanted to create a space for Black women to share their thoughts, feelings, and stories that make them who they are without fear of judgment. Allow Yourself Grace provides emotional support and encouragement within the Grace Girls community for women in need of non biased opinions from women other than family and friends. Personal development, self care, career, faith are among many of the topics we will discuss on this platform. Allow Yourself Grace podcast is here to encourage Black women to live unapologetically and thrive in being authentically who they are and were designed to be an entire vibe. No topics are off limits. We will cover it all. Now, grab a notebook, pen, sit back, and enjoy the show.
What's up? What's up, Grace Girls? Welcome back to another episode of the Allow Yourself Grace podcast. I'm so happy to be here. We are nearing the season finale. So, this is episode number 9, season 2. And so, I'm super excited about what's to come. But as you can see, I'm your host, Courtney Christten, and I'm sitting here alone today. I haven't been alone in a while. I wanted to kind of start structuring the seasons where I end the season alone, just so I can kind of reflect and answer some of you guys, some of the questions that I've been seeing and some of the questions that I've been getting from the season. And then we'll go into the season finale. So that's kind of how I want to structure this season. So I hope you guys enjoy. But let's jump right in. So we've had some amazing people on this season, and from the episodes, I've been getting questions, and so I'm like, oh, okay, I want to answer these questions before the season ends. So today, I want to talk about a few things, not necessarily one thing, but one of the things that stood out to me this season was celebrating who you are and where you are. I think that oftentimes we get busy and we get so caught up in what's the next thing. So we may accomplish a goal and we just keep moving. Like we don't realize that we didn't stop to celebrate. And I think stopping to celebrate is so important because you allow yourself time to really just bask in the moment and really just give yourself credit for what you've done and all the hard work that you've put in. Recognizing that you are a big deal, right? We downplay our actions. We downplay the work that we put in, the places that we've gone, the things we do. We downplay it because maybe we don't want to offend anyone. Maybe we don't want people to feel like we're bragging. There's a number of reasons why you could forget to celebrate. Maybe you don't have the support that you think you should have. Or maybe mentally you're spending a lot of time trying to prove somebody wrong, right? Like, oh, I'm going to prove to them that I can do it. But you forget about all the stuff that you've already accomplished while trying to get to that big goal. And so I just want you to remember to stop to celebrate. And so I think I was reminded of that throughout the entire season with everybody coming on and me going to different events and just being in different rooms with different types of people. The one thing that it taught me was to celebrate who I am and where I am, because what I've done and what I've accomplished so far in my life is a big deal. And so I don't want people to feel like because someone is on a larger stage than them, or someone's a little bit further than they would like to be, that what they've done isn't enough, or it doesn't deserve to be celebrated, because it does. Your milestone is your milestone. And so you have to celebrate who you are, where you are. And just learn to do that, because we put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect and to be in a certain place in our lives by a certain age. Like, we put all this pressure because society puts pressure on us. Then we add pressure to ourselves because it's like, well, my friend is this far and we're the same age, so we should be, in the same income bracket, or I should own a home because my friend owns a home. Like, we put all these stipulations and pressure on ourselves that we don't know who we are and where we are at times, because we are spending so much time setting new goals and trying to be someone else, and trying to be someone we're not. What I was gonna say, I was thinking of while I was talking, I was thinking of a conversation that my husband and I had with another business owner yesterday, and we talked about imposter syndrome. And so imposter syndrome is when you spend 99.9% of your time trying to be like someone else, and you never really tap into your own gifts. You never really tap into your own creativity because you've spent so much time trying to imitate another person. I just believe that we were all designed to be different, and we were all designed with different gifts. So what one person's good at, Courtney may not be good at. Like, I may suck at it. And I may put all this effort into trying to be and do what they're doing, but it will never be done to the same effect as or level as they have done it, because that's not my gift. The Bible says that your gifts will make room for you. And so I just believe that everyone has unique gifts. There's some stuff that my husband can look at, he can get it done in 2 seconds. Me, I can look at it, it's going to take me a moment, like, because that's not my gift. So I really just want to encourage you guys to start operating in your own gifts. Like, if you don't know what your gifts are, think about the things that you like. Think about the things that you're just naturally good at without thinking about it. Hone in on those gifts and turn those gifts and those passions into profit. You want to wake up every day and feel good about whatever it is that you're going to do. And so if you don't feel good about it, you need to think about, okay, number one, why don't I feel good about this? What can I do to change my situation? Let me write down all the things that I love doing, all the things that I'm passionate about, and how I can get them accomplished and make money by doing what I'm passionate about. We spend a lot of time doing what society and what other people want us to do, and we forget about our own dreams. And we let people that have never, ever done the things that you want to do talk us out of it. That is the craziest thing to me. Like, I literally sat here a month ago and I was like, in my 20s, I really let people sit here and talk me out of something they had never done, they had never experienced, and they had, no knowledge of, but you talked me out of it. And so it's like, we got to think about that. It doesn't matter how much we respect the person, we value their opinion, whether it's your mom, your dad, whoever. It's the fact that whatever it is you're probably trying to do, they've never done it. So you're telling me your opinion based off of no experience, right? And so we got to think about that. And a lot of times we think because, okay, the person's older, they're a little wiser. Not really, if they've never really experienced, because experience is your best teacher. That's your greatest teacher. You're never going to know how something is going to go or what something going to be like unless you experience it for yourself. And so from this past season, that was one of the things that I got to, was just doing what you want to do and getting your own experience. That's the only way you're going to find out if it's right for you. And celebrating it when you fail, you're like, okay, that wasn't for me. Let me try it this way, or let me try something else. It's okay. That's what life is about. You only get one life. Another thing that I learned is just knowing that I'm already equipped for this. Everything that I go through and everything that I get to experience, I'm just designed and equipped to get through. And I need to start using those tools. Use the tools that you already have. Just because someone has 1,000 degrees or they speak well or they use big words or you see them all over social media doesn't mean that you can't do something similar. Don't ever feel like the market or the area that you're trying to go in is too crowded. Oh, it's everybody's doing it. 9 times out of 10, they're not. Just look at who's consistent. Look at who's following through with what they said they're going to do. That'll tell you a lot about a person. I'm starting to just really, really judge people in their character, not about not about what they say or not on what they say, but about how they move and what they're doing. Like, do your actions align with your words? So don't ever worry about, oh, there's too many people doing it. Oh, it's too late for me to do it. Oh, I'm too old for me to do it. The time is now for you to do it. The time is now. Like, do it now. Do it when the thought comes to mind. We went on an interview last night, my husband and I, and one of the questions was, what advice would you give people who are, thinking of starting a business or thinking of starting a new adventure? Like, and my answer was to start now. Do it now. Like, whenever you think about it, start planning for it now. Start putting it out in the atmosphere and start creating an environment that's going to help you get there. So start now. Like, don't spend so much time here. Don't spend so much time looking around for validation from other people. Just kind of get a plan together and just start. That's the only way to do it, because we spend so much time up here and trying to get validation from other people that we never start. We never start. We have journals, we have vision boards, we have sticky notes, we have all this stuff written down everywhere, but nothing's getting accomplished. I literally, I write stuff down. I'm not telling you not to write stuff down, because I do. But what I do is, like, every month, at the beginning of the month, I'll go back to the previous month and I look, and I want to check off and look at what I've gotten accomplished. And, like, when I write the list always seems long, right? And then when I go back, I'm like, man, I really got all this stuff done. Like, this stuff really got done. And when we don't put so much pressure on ourselves to finish things within a certain time limit or rush, like, just because I write it down today, I need to get it done today. Like, it's not going to happen overnight, but if you're working towards it every single day, you're going to start to see things getting checked off of those lists. You're going to start seeing people coming through. Like, sometimes I'll sit and pray about something, or I'll think about something, and it's like somebody will come and just give me that opportunity for what I pray for. And so my husband always says, stop writing vision boards and create a vision environment. And that is so key, because when you start getting people around you that's going to hold you accountable, that's going to give you opportunities for you to do what you said you were going to do, those are the kind of people you want around you, because it's only going to push you forward. It's only going to make you, better, and make you stronger, make you wiser, and make you like, oh, I did that, I can do this. And just learning how to really walk in your gifts and walk in your calling. The cutest thing to me was this past weekend, my husband and I did a live podcast, right? And so after the podcast, a little girl came up to us. A little girl, she's probably like 12, and she's like, oh my God, how did you guys get into podcasts? She just had all these questions. She was super excited about it. We took the cutest picture. I'm still waiting for her mom to send it to me. But I said all that to say she was excited, but if I would have said no, or we would have said no to that opportunity, we would have never got to impact her in that way. So you just never know who you're going to impact with through the process of executing the vision that God gave you, right, for your life. Because it's not about you at the end of the day. Like your gifts and everything that God has put inside of you and everything that he's designed you to do and be is not ultimately not about you. It's about you providing something that can help someone else. Providing something that can help someone else. It's not all about me, 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 me. The money's going to always catch up with what you're doing if you're doing the right thing and if your actions align with your words. Okay, allow yourself grace. Everybody, oh, I love the name. I love the name. I love the name. How'd you come up with the name? I'm like, the name, I came up with it because that's something I was telling myself. But while I was telling myself, allow yourself grace, God was telling me you need to tell someone that, right? You need to get that message out there because other people need to start doing that. God says, my grace is sufficient, right? But we are our worst critics, y'all. We will sit here and be so hard on ourselves that we will send ourselves into depression. Like, people don't think about you sometimes actually put yourself in a depressive mindset, like, because you're thinking negative. That's the easiest thing to do is think negative. Like, the easiest thing for a human to do is think the worst. Like, if you notice, like, if you're somewhere and something's not going right, your mind will automatically go to the negative. But also, too, you're the only one that can shift it, right? You're the only one that can put it back into a positive mindset. It's like we have the power to change the narrative. Think about that. We have the power to change the narrative. It's no magic trick. Everybody likes to throw out this word manifestation. Manifestation is cool. It's cool. But until you believe in your own power, like the power of your words is what's going to bring forth the manifestation. People miss that part. Then they'll be like, oh, if I write it down and walk away from it, it's going to come to life. It's going to manifest. They have all these manifestation journals and manifestation coaches. Like, I swear, it's all types of coaches, y'all. Like, I've been learning so many new names. But it's like, until you do something, it's never going to come to life, right? We can put it out there. We can tell it to our friends. We can take it to the altar. We can write it down. But until you do something that is going to help bring forth that manifestation, it's never going to come to life. So don't think it's a magical thing or that just because it's me. Oh, this is what I wanted to say too. Just because you see someone and you're like, oh, they got it all, they got it, everything, they're lucky. No, they're not lucky. They put it out there, but they put some action behind that manifestation and it came to life. All right? Everything requires action. It requires you to get up every day with the goal in mind and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do to work towards that goal today. You know, I didn't get it today, but I'm going to get it tomorrow. Like, I swear, August 1st what's today? Yeah, it was yesterday. And I got up. Day started great. But it just felt like the day went by so quick. Like, it just went by quick. So that just shows you, like, I was doing stuff. But when you're doing stuff, sometimes it goes by quickly. And so you need to make sure that you're maximizing your time and that you're planning out those things that you need to do. I do it every day, and then I delete it when I'm done with it. Once I'm done with my checklist, it's gone out of my phone. because I like to type stuff in my phone for the day. And I'll say, okay, I want to work on da-da-da-da. Do I get everything done? No, because sometimes I have 10 things on that list. But one of the things I started doing was writing down my top 3. So these are the top 3 because I have to be realistic, right? Because when you're not realistic, it gets crazy. And you start getting this is where the anxiety comes in and the pressure comes in, because it's like you didn't put 10 things on your list. You're only one person. There's only so much time in a day. So I have to be realistic here and say, okay, this is everything I want to get done this week. I'm going to focus on 1, 2, and 3 today. Tomorrow I'm going to focus on 4, 5, and 6. Break it up. Don't feel like you got to get 10 things done every day. Some days you may only get two done. Were they towards your goal? Yes, great. So don't put so much pressure on yourself. Give yourself a little grace. Take some time to eat your lunch. Take some time to walk outside and get some vitamin D. Take some time to walk around. Get up earlier so you can work out. Get some reading in. Like, you have to structure your day because you only get one life and tomorrow's not promised. So I want to make sure that I did everything to make me happy mentally, physically, all of the above, so that I can be successful. Because if you're not healthy, you can't get on the computer. You can't go to work. If you're sick, you got to go to the doctor. That's taking time away from working towards your goals. Like, so you do have to work on your mental health, your physical health. Like, all these things come into play. But a lot of times we let one area be neglected because we're so focused on getting stuff done. There's days where it's like, okay, well, I'm going to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on these things. Thursday, I'm going to take a self-care day, half a day, right? I'm going to focus on my self-care, and then I'll come back Friday and maximize the day. Like, structure it out to fit you, because taking care of yourself is the most important thing. Your mental health needs to be intact. Your physical health needs to be intact. And so I've been, focusing on drinking more water, working out, stop intaking so much sugar, stop intaking so much fried food. Because when you intake fried food and sugar, it's like it slows you down. It slows you down. Your mental clarity is not as clear as it should be. So these are things that we need to think about. Like, nutrition plays a role. What we're putting inside of our bodies affects our mind. Those things you need to get a list, write everything down, and try to have a routine. Try to have a routine. And every day you're not going to stick to your routine, and that's okay. But every day I need you to be doing something towards your goal of being healthy, your goal of being successful. You need to be doing something towards your goal, because the worst thing that we can do is sit around all day or pull out our phones and be scrolling on our phones all day, because we're watching other people on those phones live their life, but we're not really present in the moment and living ours. And so I want you to write things down. If you're looking up to me or you're looking up to whomever you found, make sure that you're taking something that they're doing and applying it to your life. Like, they're not doing it just for you to watch them. Like, take something from what they're doing and apply it to your life. So, for example, there's a YouTuber that I watch, and I usually watch her vlogs every day if I can. If not, I'll watch every single day I'm saying every single one when I can, when I'm winding down. What I learned from her, people might say, why you watch her? Because I don't know why you watch her, because the content is the same. What I love about her is that she's consistent, right? Every day. It's a lot to post every day. If you're a content creator or you do anything where you need content, it's a lot. It's a lot that goes into it. You got to edit. It's a lot you got to do. And so what I love about it is her consistency. And so that's motivating for me, because it's like, wow, she does this every single day. She has kids and she has a 9 to 5. Like, all the excuses that people use, Because somebody may look at me and say, well, you don't have kids. Great. There's someone who does, who's consistent, who has two or three jobs. That because I consider doing any type of content a job, because it is. So stop making excuses for why you can't get something done. We're going to put all the excuses to the side. So we're moving it. The year is going by fast, y'all. So we're in August, September, October, November, December. We got 5 months. Dang. That sounds crazy when I say it out loud, because I literally feel like we just started 2023. But 5 months, and December, really we're going to say 4, because, once you get to the holidays, that's another excuse. People get to the holidays and be like, oh, I'm going to wait till January. In January, I'm going to do da-da-da-da-da. But right now, you have the time. Do it now. It's not promised. I've been seeing people pass away that, okay, so, for example, I see people post people that, like, oh, my God, so-and-so passed away. I'm logging off for today, because it's a lot. Because if the person's, like, well-known and they were, like, an outgoing person, of course, multiple people are going to be posting. But if I don't know the person, like, what I'll do is I'll click their name. And so one guy, I clicked it because I wanted to see, because it was like 20 of them. We had 20 mutual friends, so everybody was posting about him. So I was like, oh, I want to see who this guy is. No. So I clicked on it, go to his page. Y'all, I scroll down. He was making plans for, the upcoming months. Like, oh, I can't wait to go to this. I'm going to do this. So don't ever think that tomorrow is promised, because it's not. You can make all the plans you want. You can schedule it for January, December, whatever, but you need to be working toward it every single day, because you never know when your last day is going to be. Somebody who died today was making plans for today, or somebody that died last night was making plans for today. You get what I'm saying? So don't wait. Don't wait. I see people that I went to high school with, and they're, some of them just got their passport and they're traveling. I'm excited. I'm just excited, as excited for them as they are, because it's like you're getting to experience life. You're getting to see, how people live in other countries. You're getting to do what you want to do, and that's exciting, because time is of the essence. Like, I feel like I graduated high school last year, but I'm in my 30s. Like, think about that. Like, time is going by so quickly, and no one wants to live a life of regret. You don't want to live a life of what if, or man, if I would have just, if, or man, if I had, if. Like, no one wants to live that life, because that's a life of excuses. That's a life of, well, we playing the blame game, right? We don't want to take accountability. Well, my mom did this and my dad did this, or maybe if I wouldn't have grew up like this. But you can do anything you want to do. You're your own boss. You determine that narrative. I was watching a TikTok last week, and I couldn't even get in the shower because my heart just really went out to this lady. So, and I sent it to my husband, because I'm like, babe, look at this. This is so sad, because I don't like seeing people hurt. So she was at work, so she drove up to work, and she got in her car, and she made a TikTok, and she was like, I don't want to go into this job. This job is draining. I shouldn't have to work 8 hours a day, or 8 to 12 hours a day, get my check, and feel like all I got to do is pay bills. And I might have a little left. She was like, I feel like I deserve to go out to eat. We're hardworking people, me and her boyfriend or whatever. She was like, we both go to work, but we still, at the end of the month, barely have money to buy groceries, and barely have money to get her hair done and stuff like that. And so I really sat in that moment and listened, and my heart was hurting for her, but also, too, it motivated me, right? I'm not in a terrible place in my life, right? I love my life. I'm enjoying my life. I'm comfortable, but that's the problem. That's the problem for me, is like, you too comfortable. And I feel like I came across that video because it's like, man, you got some tools and resources in your hand that you need to be using, that you need to be applying, that you're not applying. And it just really gave me that reality check, because it's like people are in this state of mind and they're in this place in their lives, but it's like, okay, we out here, we fussing about it, and we're talking about the government, we're talking about what everybody else is not doing and what you're doing, but you feel like you're still not getting ahead. Okay, so the game plan has to change. I never heard her say that, because she's following the traditional American route that we were taught in school to graduate, grow up, get a job, go to college, get a job, retire, right? Or find a trade, make you some good money, and retire, right? Make sure you have benefits. Make sure you can pay your bills and you got a little money to, maybe, do a little thing. You're not really hurting for anything, but you're not rich. You're not wealthy, but you're not really hurting for anything. So when you're in that state, it's easy to get comfortable. And when you're where she is, it's easy to want to find a way out, right? What's the plan? That's all I kept thinking. Like, okay, I know you're hurt. I know you're sad, but what's the plan? So I'm asking you guys today, if you're at home and, maybe you've sacrificed, you've put stuff on hold, it's like, okay, I'm struggling a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to do. What's the plan? What's the plan, sis or bro? Because I got some men out here who watch my podcast, but it's like, what's the plan? We got to come up with a plan. We cannot stay where we are. That's being stagnant. We can't stay where we are. We have to come up with a plan on how we're going to move forward, and we're going to get through this trying time. There's going to be trying times, whether you're rich, whether you're not rich. There's always going to be times where you feel down. You feel like you can't push through. You feel like all odds are against you. You feel like you don't know. You're confused about what you want to do. You're confused about transitioning. Maybe you're confused about transitioning into something new because of what somebody else is telling you. Or from your own experience that I can no longer continue to be where I'm at. I can no longer continue to be here because I'm never going to get where I want to be. So guess what? The plan has to change. And so I said all this to say, hopefully you got something from the episode. I know it was like a little bit all over the place, but I said all this to say you are equipped to get through it. You were designed for this. God gave us everything we need to be successful inside of us. There's nothing different about you. There's nothing odd about you. God didn't just choose you to have a bad day or to have the type of life that you're living if you're struggling or to be comfortable. He chose you to be great. And so when we come up with a plan to tap into our greatness, that's when we're going to be happy with where we are in our lives. But only you can determine your happiness. Only you can do that. And so I'm going to close this episode out with, how do you want to push forward? That's the question. How do you want to push forward? How do you want to make yourself better? What are you going to do about it? There's multiple questions, but what are you going to do about it? These are questions that you need to be asking yourself. What's the plan? I'm whining, I'm complaining, but what am I going to do about it? All right? Comment down below. Let me know your plan. You can DM me. Let me know your plan. I will be your accountability partner. Find an accountability partner, someone that's going to check in with you and say, hey, how you doing on those goals? Hey, you said you wanted to do X, Y, Z. I got an opportunity for you. Surround yourself around those type of people because they want to see you win. I want to see you win. I hope you want to see you win. Until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next one.
Well, guys, that concludes our episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast. For additional information about today's episode, please click the link in the show notes below. To learn more about our Grace Girls community and other resources we have to offer, head over to www.allowyourselfgrace.com. Until next time, Grace Girls, I love you all, be blessed, and continue to strive for success.